I remember I would fall out of a bunk bed. I slept in a bunk bed. I was on the top bunk, and I would get over a railing and just fall 6 feet to the ground and just land. I mean, you don't catch yourself. It's just whatever hits first. All your body weight just lands on your head. I got a full-blown concussion. I'm crying. My parents are like, just go back to a deep sleep for 7 hours. I've had 3 concussions in my life, and none of them because of sports. Just living life, man, you know? Stuff happens to your head. What are you gonna do? One was in high school. I got pushed into a wall head first, and it took them 3 class periods to figure out I had a concussion. That's how much I was bringing to the table. I mean, 2 teachers didn't even notice, and the third one was like, he wasn't facing forward, and that's when I realized he's one of the better facer forwards I've ever had. So I knew. My biggest concussion was when I was 12 years old. I fell down a cliff. So I grew up in Old Hickory, Tennessee, and we used to climb down this cliff in Old Hickory Lake, and we'd done it a ton of times. And so one day I slip and fall. So my friend that I'm with, he goes and gets my mom. There was a guy fishing in a boat down in the lake, and so he sees me, and he gets me into the boat. And then he takes me over to some stairs, which he had to be like, why didn't he just use these stairs? I mean, they were right next to that cliff. Like, it didn't even make sense. There was 2 guys at the bottom of the steps, and he goes, hey, this kid fell. Can you carry him up? So they carry me up. And my mom's in an ambulance in her pajamas. My dad, who I think everybody knows now is a magician, and he's doing a show in a full tuxedo. So when they get to the hospital, the doctor starts talking to my parents. I mean, my mom looks homeless. My dad's in a tuxedo. It looks like they're divorced and someone's not paying child support. Growing up, I grew up in Tennessee, and we went to church. It's funny, I tried to play basketball for my high school team, but I got cut. So I had to play for my church because the church cannot cut you. They have to let you play. They could cut you. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good. He is our captain. So, church ball was a lot different because we played half court, no 3-point line. We played on carpet. That's your first sign. It's not going to count. And they didn't even give us a basketball. We didn't have a basketball. We would just stand there and play on honesty. You'd be like, I just made it. It was like, oh, that's a good shot. You're really good. I stole it. I forgive you for stealing it. It was moral points. It counts later. Are y'all gonna go watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest? Did everybody get their tickets for that? It's exciting. I think it's free anyway, but I remember the first time I saw the hot dog eating contest. The first time I saw it, you would see a lot of skinny people, and then they would show like a huge fat guy. So I was like, all right, obviously he is going to win. He probably ate on the way here. But he does not win. Kobayashi or Joey Chestnut, 2 very in-shape guys. So that means fat people are not even good at what they're good at. Who would have thought? Huh? Who would have? I'm married, and that is whatever, but you do it. You know what marriage is like? Marriage is like, you ever go to a concert and you see a mosh pit, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go get in that mosh pit. But then once you get in it, you're like, I do not want to be in this mosh pit. At all. I am going to leave and go get some beer. Then the mosh pit's like, hey, you drank last night. You're like, all right, mosh pit, why don't you get off my back? And we're doing homework, too. Our daughter's starting to bring it all home. Homework's fun. 1st and 2nd grade was awesome. 3rd grade, you're like, okay. They throw some stuff in, you're like, oh, all right. All right. It's, okay. Learning it earlier than we used to, huh? I don't even know if that's true, but she brought home Common Core math. That's fun. It's a new math they invented. No heads up, just give it to parents that never learned it. It's just a whole new, it's unbelievable. Why when they bring it home, you gotta watch a 40-minute YouTube video on Common Core math. I don't even understand it. If you know it, if you don't know Common Core, it's just a new math. And the goal of Common Core is to use one sheet of paper for every problem. You just want to keep breaking the problem down. You put the problem at the top, and it just keeps going. And then what's even funnier is you see old math in the middle of it. As you break it down, old math gets in there, and you're like, oh, just do that at the top. I don't even know what we're doing. And it's not like old math isn't working. I mean, old math's doing, I don't get incorrect change everywhere just going, this stupid old math. It's a long way to get at the same answer. I told my wife, I go, it feels like if you knocked on my front door and I opened it, and you say, can I come in? And I was like, do you mind walking in and coming in through the back door? And you'd be like, does the front door not work? I'm like, no, it works. I use it. A lot of people still use it. But the new way is to go jump the fence and come in the back and meet me at... We have a daughter. We have a daughter as well, so it's getting pretty serious between us now. And it's our first kid. I don't know if we had a kid too late in life. Sometimes I think so. Like, because if you ever ask someone that has kids and their kids are grown and moved out, and you're like, when's the best time of your life? They will say before they have kids or after their kids move out. There's like 20 years they don't mention. And that's when kids were in their house, you know? So for me, I'm 35. I was 33 when she was born. So by the time she moves out, I'll be 53. I'll be dead within hours. So, I've just pushed it too far. Like, I should have done it earlier, you know? Like, I watched that show, Teen Mom, and I'm like, man, those girls are nailing it. Like, that's what... Just get it over with, you know? Like, no one likes junior high or high school anyway, so just wrap it all up together. If I had my daughter at 13, she'd be already moved out. Right now, she'd be gone. I'd already be done. I would be crushing it down here. So, we took her to Disney World, and she's 2, and so when I took her, like my stupid buddies that don't have kids, they're just like, why are you even taking her? It's not like she's going to remember it, you know? You're just like wasting money. And I was like, I don't know, but it's fun to see her get excited. I don't know, you know? I mean, should I just lock her in a closet and be like, do you remember yesterday? No, well, until you start remembering things. I'm not going to waste any money on you, you know? This is what marriage feels like, what it feels like in here right now. Just one person talking, the other's like, I'm going to get out of here. I always get home late doing comedy, and my wife will be asleep, so I'll go in, I fix something to eat, I watch TV. I'll be home for like an hour, and I'll just hear her from the bedroom. She'll be like, Nate, is that you? It's like, you better hope to God it's me. You have let some murderer get quite comfortable in this house. He's eating, you know? And I don't have a gun. We don't have a gun to protect us if someone broke into our house. I have a pocket knife. That's what I have. It's gonna do nothing. I don't know even how to use this knife in the middle of the day, much less I'm gonna wake up out of a dead sleep and have some kind of knife skill I've never had before. So what me and my wife do, we sleep strategically in our bed to like prepare for an attack, you know? So, like, I'm here, like, she's closest to the door, but it's, yeah, I don't know, it's fine. Look, she doesn't even know there's a strategy, so it's the plan is like the guy would come in, right, and she's gonna lunge at him. She'll lunge, and she'll probably be like, it felt like I got pushed, and be like, well, you don't know what lunging means. And she'll lunge. She'll put up a good fight, you know? At least a good enough fight that I can be practicing with my knife on my side. That's all I want. So now I drink iced coffee with cream. That's all I changed it to. I'm tired of saying milk. That's all. They kept giving me milk with ice. So I was like, I'm gonna say cream, you know? They can't do cream with ice. That's against the law. So I'll get rid of the one problem that I had. And I've only been drinking coffee for maybe 4 years. Not very long. I only order this one little drink. I get very nervous when I order coffee because it's a whole world, and I don't know the world, you know? They always ask you a bunch of stuff. Like, they're like, what kind of cream? I'm like, just please do it. Just do it. You know? Sometimes they're like, do you want heavy cream or half and half? And I'll go, I'm sorry, I'm not taking questions right now. So if you could just do whatever you think it is, and if it's wrong, I won't even tell you. How about that? I will walk out of here as if that's exactly what I ordered. I will go outside, I will throw it away, and go try again at a different Starbucks. That's how I'll handle the entire... That's why I think they have so many Starbucks, so you can just keep going. Someone's got to get it. If I have to get my wife's coffee, she has to text me what she wants, because I don't know how to pronounce, like, most of the words there. So I just show them the phone. I go, she wants this. And they're like, does she want it in Sweden? I'm like, guess we have to call her now, don't we? And I make them talk to her. I go, talk to a stranger's wife. Say what you said to me. Have you ever been to a Starbucks, like inside, like if you go inside and there's like a big long line and you'll be waiting and they try to take your order before you're even to the front? Like you'll be in the back, they're like, what do you want? You're like, oh, I would like to wait till I get right in front of you. Yeah, you know, did you see how everybody looked at me when you said that? I didn't care for that. So how about we do it like a regular, normal business, you know? And you let me do it right in front of you. Starbucks is like waving cars down on the street. Just be like, we're just trying to get your order started in case you ever come here one day. So I was in San Francisco. And I bet there's a bunch of fun coffee places. And I live in my dumb world that I just want this one little drink. So I go into a Starbucks and I get to the front and I was like, I'll take an iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And then she goes, iced coffee with cream? I go, iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And she said it one more time. She said, so iced coffee with cream? And at that point, I should have said, what's going on right now? Where are you at in your head? Because I feel like we're in two different places. But I was nervous, and there was people behind me, and I was like, cream or no cream? Honestly, I'll give you $20 if you let me leave right now. I cannot, this is the most I can talk about this. I don't even know what's happening anymore. So I paid, I go stand in line, you know, where you gotta wait for your drink. There's like 5 of us waiting for our drinks. So she puts the iced coffee up there first, no cream, and I was like, whatever. I'll just do it myself, you know? Like, I don't like doing it myself, but I was like, all right, I'll just do it. So before I could get it, she's walked back with a can of whipped cream, and she's shaking it. And I'm just looking at it, like, thinking that's someone else's. I'm like, someone's getting whipped cream. That's fun. One of you guys are getting whipped cream? And I look down, and she starts spraying the whipped cream on top of my iced coffee. She just yells out, iced coffee whipped cream, yells it out. The other 4 people, they turn their back, like they don't want you to accidentally think that's what they ordered. And I'm just left alone, like, that's what you thought I said over there? You don't think I would have said iced coffee with whipped cream? You think I'm just some nut job? It's like, I've had too many problems in this Starbucks, so I'm going to use the words that I want and no other words. Iced coffee whipped cream cup. And they didn't have a top for it, so whipped cream, it doesn't sink and become less embarrassing. It moves. It's like a buoy in an ocean that everybody sees. And I'm just walking through the crowd like, this is my favorite drink. I don't know if you guys drink this at all. Is anybody? Nobody does this? I'm surprised. And I walked outside and threw it away and I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. And during the 80s and 90s, kids were getting kidnapped pretty rapidly. And look, I'm not trying to say we were more desirable or something. I think we were outside more. A lot more opportunity, you know. Also a lot easier to get us into vans. Didn't take much. And so parents back then, they would watch TV, and I think it would scare the parents. You know, you realize like now everything's a crime show. Everything that you watch is crime, podcasts are crime, movies are crime. You almost like see it so much. But back then, you only had so many channels. And then when they would watch these shows, they were very powerful shows. My parents used to watch a show called Rescue 911. And it would just show reenactments of crimes. And it was powerful. I've seen 3 seconds of Rescue 911. I remember walking through the living room. My parents are watching it. I look at the TV. A guy has a ski mask on, and a woman is asleep with her feet out from under the covers, and he started rubbing her foot. That's all I saw. I kept walking. I don't know what happened before or after, but I know I've never been able to sleep with my feet out from under the covers because I accidentally saw that 30 years ago. And my feet get so hot, and I want to put them out so bad. I mean, I try it every night for 30 years, and then that image pops in my head, and I yank them right back under. I'll be in a hotel room, and I'm like, look, you can't get in here, dude. You've locked everything. And I'm like, that's exactly what he's been waiting for. He's probably already in here. So my parents, I think, watched a Rescue 911 where a kid went missing. So it got them scared. They were like, I think they took it as like, look, you guys are getting kidnapped. There's nothing we can do. It's happening. So they wanted us to be prepared for it. So instead of like, I don't know, self-defense, give us a gun, I don't know, something. What they did was like, you know, you always hand out flyers if a kid goes missing. They were like, let's just get that flyer ready. We'll just do that, you know? So if a kid goes missing, they always have a flyer. They put a picture of the kid and all the information below the flyer. So the height, weight, eye color, all that stuff. So instead of making a flyer, what they made us do was we wrote on a piece of paper our name, height, weight, eye color, and then we just held it up against the wall, and they just took a picture of us. So the picture is us holding our own information. And they said, well, when the cops are like, hey, let's get a flyer ready, we're going to be like, well, we've been rooting for this to happen. We already have one made. And they're like, we'll give that to the police. Which, if we would have been kidnapped, my parents would be in prison right now. No one's going to believe you pre-took pictures. I mean, they're going to just look at this and be like, all right, just tell us where the kids are at. That would be the easiest thing to do. I've never seen this ever. They had to go get that printed at Walmart, too. You couldn't do that at home. You had to go show people that you're crazy. We walked in Walmart, and the guy was probably like, hey, do you think I could talk to your kids by themselves for a little bit? I'd love to just chat with them.
I live in Nashville, and I travel a lot of hotels. Every hotel I go in, I ask if they have a gym. Like, I'm like, you guys got a gym? I don't even have clothes to work out in. And it's just because other people are standing there, so I like to ask. I don't work out. I don't know if I have to say it. I'm lazy. I realized how lazy I was. I was watching a football game once, and I'm sitting on my couch, and I was going to get something to drink out of the refrigerator. And right when I get up to go get something to drink, one team kicked off to the other team. And before I could get back, the guy ran a 100-yard kickoff return, and I missed it. That guy ran 100 yards before I could get 3 to maybe 4 yards. He also had 11 people really trying not to let him run 100 yards. I don't even have an ottoman. It was wide open. Couldn't make it. I did play sports growing up, though. I tried to play basketball for my high school, but I got cut every year. So I had to play for my church, because the church cannot cut you. They have to let you play. Or maybe they could cut you, I don't know. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good. And he is our captain. I played baseball too. When I was 13, I was playing baseball. And one time I was up to bat and I get walked. So I take my base, I get to first base, and I turned around and the catcher was still standing there and he was holding the ball. He's like staring at me. Like he was like daring me to run. Like he was like, just go, I bet you can't make it. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna go. So I just ran. When I ran, he threw it over through second base. Ball goes in the outfield. So then I run to third base. The outfield grabs the ball. They overthrow third base. My third base coach is telling me to go home. This is about to be an inside the park home run off a walk. I'm gonna be on SportsCenter. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in baseball. And I slide. There's a play at the plate. And that's when the umpire tells us that it was only ball 3. I swear. It's a true story. So we all have to get up I'm like dirty for no reason. I gotta go get my bat. It's right where I left it. I gotta just drag it. I gotta bat again. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch, immediately strike out. I'm exhausted and over baseball. And I just looked at the ump and he was like, you can go now. Here's what I learned though that day. I learned that if you're confident, you can get away with quite a bit. Because no one tried to stop me, and they should have, you know? They knew I wasn't supposed to go. That's why the catcher was holding the ball, because he was like, I don't think he's supposed to be going yet, right? And then I just ran to second. He's like, I guess I'm wrong. No one's that dumb, you know? And then he just launches it into the outfield, who's barely paying attention. They think it's a hit, and the umpire figures it out, but it's just easier to let me get all the way back to him, you know? Let me feel what it would feel like. You know what was great too? No one ever told the parents. They never explained it to them. They were cheering. It's a pretty exciting play to watch. And then they just see me slide into home and then just stand up and bat again. And they just are like, is that just a rule in baseball? I don't even know. All right, thank you guys so much.
I'm married. I'm still married, and thanks. Yeah. I like to say it, you know, like I'm at the same job, just like, yeah, no, still work there. Yeah, right out of high school. Only job I applied for. My wife will tell me that she always says that I don't like the way she talks, and it's not her voice. I like the sound of her voice. That'd be a big problem, I think, if it was like, it's your voice. I just hate it. Just to go to couples therapy and be like, can you hear it right? Like, it's not, you know, it's not fun. It's the information that she chooses to tell me at times. We took a trip to Florida, to Fort Lauderdale, and her and our daughter are flying from Nashville, where we live, and I'm flying from Detroit. We're meeting at Fort Lauderdale's airport. I have to find them when they land. So I called her because I was about to take off, and I was like, all right, what time do you guys leave? She goes, noon. And it was 11:30, and they're still at home. I was like, Laura, I don't know if you even know what an airport is. But if that plane was in our driveway, I don't think you could make it. And she said, that's what time we leave for the airport. Our flight's not till 1:30. And I was like, all right. So what do you think I wanted to know when I asked that? Is that what you thought the best time you could give me was a time that means nothing to nobody? What time did you go to bed last night? Just tell me that, and I'll just look up all the planes that land in Florida, and I'll guess which one I think you're on. She said, I'm sorry I don't talk the way you want me to talk. I'm like, I want you to talk like a regular person, all right? Like you've been around people before, you know? We didn't talk in Florida, I'll tell you that. She's good at not talking to me. She can go a long time. She could do her whole marriage career. Marriage fights are great because they're all very dumb. I would say 90% of them are dumb. 10% the cops show up. But we got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home, and she was like, why did you bring it home? And I was like, you're supposed to drink it after you work out. And she was like, that's not true. And I was like, well, there's a commercial on TV. They probably looked into it more than you did. So I decided to listen to them. And she said, that's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk. And I was like, you don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people. And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, we got to make up a lie. We got to get rid of this chocolate milk. She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? To be fair to her, though, I do not work out. So, you know, but I was probably going to start, and I needed to get all this stuff there. Do you ever get in those fights, like you'll be at home, like by you and your spouse, and you guys are not talking to each other, and you're in the house together, no kids, the house is quiet, and you just stay on opposite ends, and then you pass each other in the hallway? That's like the funniest part of it, because you don't live in a mansion, you have one hallway. And you just didn't time it out right, and you just have to walk by each other like strangers. You're like, oh, excuse me, sorry, yeah, no, go ahead. She'll be watching TV, I'm like, ma'am, are you watching this? I couldn't tell, I was gonna change it if you weren't watching it. It's the silent treatment. The silent treatment is, it's a very common thing. Everybody knows what it is. I think women are just born. I've had 3 concussions in my life, and none of them because of sports. Just living life, man, you know? Stuff happens to your head. What are you gonna do? One was in high school. I got pushed into a wall head first, and it took them 3 class periods to figure out I had a concussion. That's how much I was bringing to the table. My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? He goes clown and magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up with this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. I do 0 working out. Not even, I mean, it's not like you're like, whoa, wow. Like it's like, yeah, we figured that. Every hotel I go to, I ask if they have a gym. I don't even have clothes that I could work out in. There's no way, I'm like, is it 24 hours? I was gonna start tonight at midnight. So I was wondering if that's, what I've learned, what's easier than working out is just tell people that you used to weigh 300 pounds. That's a lot. They don't know, you know? So, I've never weighed 300 pounds, but I look pretty amazing for a guy that used to weigh 300 pounds. You're like, yeah, I got tired of being tired, all right, you know? Today's my cheat day, obviously, but normally I'm pretty strict. So, me and my buddy, we rented a car, he's driving. On the way out there, I see a dead horse just laid out in this guy's yard. And I've never seen that before, and I was like, man, I bet you don't think about that when you buy a horse, it dying, you know? What do you do? That's a huge thing, dying in your yard. You can't just scoot it off into the woods with your foot and try to get another one that matches before the kids come home. You have to tell your wife to keep the kids away for a month. You gotta Google how to move a dead horse. You gotta probably try to get another horse to help you do it, and that's not easy. That's what the blinders were invented for, because it's like, just look ahead. Don't worry about what's going on back. He said, no, look. Or you gotta get your friends to help you do it, and you can't spill the beans too quick on that. You think it's hard for them to help you move a couch? Try a dead horse. You gotta lie to them, like, we're getting a divorce. Just come over, bring your truck and some gloves. And when they get there, let me tell you, they're gonna see it, all right? Everybody saw it. It was next to the road. And they're gonna pull into that driveway and just be like, I don't think they're getting a divorce at all.
I think we're here to move that dead horse is what I think. I just don't eat anything healthy. I like apples, but I only like pre-cut apples. I won't eat a whole one, you know? I'm not a horse, all right? So could you guys do some work over there at the apple factory, you know, however apples get here? I've watched a lot of the documentaries that try to make you eat better. Like I watched Fed Up, and it's about all the food that I eat every day. There was nothing in it that I haven't had recently. You know that saying, like, I haven't had that in forever? I haven't said that in forever. There's nothing I haven't had. Airheads, that's usually something like, oh, are they still doing good? Yeah, they're doing great. They got more colors now, it's pretty fun, you know? On the way back, since my buddy was driving, he did not see the dead horse, you know? And I'm like, well, you can't not see it. So it's just one road, and I was like, I'll just show you where it's at. So we're driving, and we get to it. I was like, it's right here. And I pointed, and the horse was standing up, doing unbelievable. One of the healthier horses that I've ever seen. So I learned that horses lay down to sleep. I did not know that. I don't know what I thought before that day. I don't know. That they lock their knees. That's why they have 4 knees. I don't know. That's what I would have probably argued with you about it. People always talk to me very easy too, or dumb. Like if I talk to a stranger, I can always feel it. And I think it's my eyes. I have big eyes, you know? And so I just get a lot of like, you still with me, man? And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, man, I'm listening. And he goes, all right, I don't feel like you could have been anywhere, you know? And our daughter, she's 6 now, but she was 5 at the time. This was her first pet. She was best friends with this dog. And it was the first thing that was gonna die in her lifetime. So it's a lot of stuff to have to explain to a kid, you know? And so I was talking to my wife about like, how are we gonna tell her? And at first I was like, let's just act like we didn't have a dog. 5-year-olds are smart, but if we stick together on this, and she comes home from school and is like, where's the dog? And we're like, what dog? Like I've never seen a dog. Don't you think I would know if there was a dog? But I read an article about the long-term damage of that. It's pretty good. So I was just honest with her. And I set her down. I said, look, Annie's very sick and she's older and she's going to die soon. This happens, so just love her as much as you can right now. And she took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day, I kind of told her again, you got to tell kids over and over again. I kind of kept telling her. I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie surprised us by living 6 months longer. I mean, we were way off on when we thought she was going to die. But I already started telling my daughter I didn't want to stop and then have to start it again. So I just kept it up for 6 months. Every day I was like, she'll die. All right, she will die. She will die, I will die, your mom's dead. I went into one I was trying to buy a hammock. So I go in, I go back to where I imagine hammocks live. And I went up to this guy and I was like, hey man, do you guys sell hammocks? And he was like, what's a hammock? And it threw me off enough that I was like, am I saying it wrong? I was like, I think I'm saying it wrong, because you know what it is. And I was like, is it Hammett with a T? Does that sound right? Like, do you guys sell hammocks? And he was like, we're out of hammocks. We're out of them. It's hammock season. And I left, went to my car, Googled where to buy a hammock. And Google was like, do you mean hammock? I was like, I sure do, Google. Where were you at during all of this? The other embarrassing part of that is, so it happened, and then I called like a comic buddy of mine to tell him the story. And I was like, this is funny, right? But then I asked him, I was like, hey, do you think if I tell people I was buying a hammock, is that gonna come off like I'm bragging? Like, for some reason, in my head, that's just like a wealthy purchase. Like, that's a hammock at Walmart. Like, an audience would be like, whoa, all right. I didn't know we were just hearing about how good you're doing. Man, what's it like to have 2 trees that close together? I
I got a reversible jacket at home, and I have 2 of them because I didn't know it was reversible. Bought them at the same time. Tried them both on separately. Like the black one, thought might as well get the blue one too. I went and laid them up there, and I remember they go, "Are you sure?" I go, "Yeah, I think I know what I'm doing here, right?" So I go into a Starbucks, and I get to the front, and I was like, "I'll take an iced coffee with cream." She goes, "With cream?" I go, "With cream." And then she goes, "Iced coffee with cream?" I go, "Iced coffee with cream." She goes, "With cream?" I go, "With cream." And she said it one more time. She said, "So iced coffee with cream?" And at that point, I should have said, "What's going on right now?" Where are you at in your head? Because I feel like we're in 2 different places. But I was nervous, and there was people behind me, and I was like, "Cream or no cream? Honestly, I'll give you $20 if you let me leave right now. I cannot, this is the most I can talk about this. I don't even know what's happening anymore." So I paid. I go stand in line, you know, where you gotta wait for your drink. There's like 5 of us waiting for our drinks. So she puts the iced coffee up there first, no cream, and I was like, whatever. I'll just do it myself, you know? Like, I don't like doing it myself, but I was like, all right, I'll just do it. So before I could get it, she's walked back with a can of whipped cream, and she's shaking it. And I'm just looking at it, like thinking that's someone else's. I'm like, someone's getting whipped cream. That's fun. One of you guys are getting whipped cream? And I look down, and she starts spraying the whipped cream on top of my iced coffee. She just yells out, "Iced coffee, whipped cream," yells it out. The other 4 people, they turn their back, like they don't want you to accidentally think that's what they ordered. And I'm just left alone, like, "That's what you thought I said over there? You don't think I would have said iced coffee with whipped cream? You think I'm just some nut job?" It's like, I've had too many problems in this Starbucks, so I'm only going to use the words that I want and no other words. Iced coffee, whipped cream cup. And they didn't have a top for it, so whipped cream, it doesn't sink and become less embarrassing. It moves. It's like a buoy in an ocean that everybody sees. And I'm just walking through the crowd like, this is my favorite drink. I don't know if you guys drink this at all. Is anybody? Nobody does this? I'm surprised. And I walked outside and threw it away and tried again at a different Starbucks. The dumbest I've ever been talked to, I like to golf. And so a guy was telling me there's a real golf course in North Carolina where they have llamas or the caddies. So if you don't know anything about golf, I mean, you know, a caddy usually carries your bag around, tells you how far you are from the hole, and helps you out. So this course, they have llamas. So you put your golf bag on a llama, and it carries your bag. So he told me that, and then he looks into my big dumb eyes, and he goes, "Just so you know, llamas can't talk, though." I mean, that's the question he was trying to get ahead of as he looked into my stupid eyes. Like, he's like, "I'm gonna say it so that guy doesn't have to say it." The best wedding I've ever been to was my cousin's wedding. It was a real redneck affair. It was right outside Louisville, Kentucky, where my parents are from. And my cousin's name is Tuesday, which is a good start. The invitation said, "Tuesday's getting married, rehearsals Friday, wedding Saturday." People were like, "We gotta be there Monday for this wedding? How long is this wedding? It's a week?" We get there, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, khaki pants, nothing crazy. I'm wildly overdressed. I look like I work there. Everybody else just has a football or basketball jersey on. My uncle, his daughters get married. He has his tuxedo jacket, pants, cummerbund, bow tie, no shirt. They forgot his shirt, and instead of waiting to go get it, he was like, "Let's do it without it," right? Like, that's... And he doesn't have a body that's like, "That's cool, man." You know, he has a body that you're like, "Put your jacket on backwards, flip it around." Yeah. And then you see his back, and you're like, "Whew, all right, go back to regular way." Yeah, that's my fault. How's your back worse than your front? We go into the church. It's bride and groom. Looks like it's home and away. That's how many jerseys are in there. Guys are drinking beers in the church. Like, that's something I've never heard a pastor be like, "Guys, could we not drink alcohol in the church?" And they're like, "Oh, didn't know this was the nice part of town." All right.
The reception is next door, just at a lady's house, like in her backyard. Like she doesn't do, it isn't like she's like, and I do receptions all the time. We were her one and only reception. So we walk over, they took a horse and buggy. The horse was the oldest horse I've ever seen. I thought it was a donkey. I thought they got a deal on a donkey. And the guy was like, this horse was in Kentucky. I travel all the time, and if I fly Delta, if I buy a ticket through Delta's system, my name in their system is Nathan, and on my license, my name is Nathaniel. I do not remember making this decision. It's a big deal. You can't just change it. I've tried. I've asked Delta if they could change it, and they're like, we can't change it. And you're like, then I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, you know? If you can't do it, who can do it? I mean, is that why people call senators? Do they do it? I don't know. What you have to do, you have to mail your birth certificate in. Some moms give their children their birth certificates. I've never received mine. I thought I was the proof of my birth. So I will never go through that process to get my name changed, so I just deal with it. And it gets brought up. Once I was checking a bag, and the guy behind the counter, he sees my ticket says Nathan, the license says Nathaniel, and he was like, this is not good. He goes, these names don't match. And I was like, but they match, right? Like, you can see the leap that we took to get from one to the other. And he was like, but they're not the same. I was like, but they're the same. And I'm realizing he cannot find out people call me Nate at that point because, I mean, he can't handle that. He's gonna call the police over to be like, there's a guy with 3 names trying to fly right here. If you guys want to just shoot him from over there or something. So I was like, what do you want me to do? And he goes, you should go home. That's all I got. He's like, I can't believe you've made it this far. I was like, let me just try it, you know? Shouldn't I try it? I said, look, I'll give you that those names don't match. But what I think is gonna help a ton is the picture on the ID. Something that I've always loved that they did, and I think with 70% of that name matching and 100% face, it's 170%. I think I'll get through it.
All right. So my wife and I, we met at Applebee's. And before I ever started comedy, I was a host and she was a server. And someone asked her recently, they said, hey, do you think, did you ever imagine when you started dating that your lives would become all that it's become? And she said, well, when I met him, he was a host, and I didn't think he was smart enough to be a server. So, yeah, we've got a little bit farther than I expected, you know? I told her I want to be a server one day, and she's like, you keep dreaming that dream, all right? I think if you try hard, you can get that menu memorized. Me and my wife, I'm the dreamer of our group. You know, I feel like in a marriage, you have one of you is a dreamer. You know, money's not real. Let's have fun. Let's go do fun stuff as much as we can. And the other person hates fun. And that's how you make a marriage. You can't have 2 dreamers. You're gonna be homeless in an hour. You need someone that just walks around. Is fun happening? I like put a stop to that. You know, having fun? Stop it. Is the air conditioner on? Turn it off.
We've been married 12 years, and our wedding, it was not good. This is not my fault. This was my mom and my wife planned the wedding, and they're both cheap. So they cut corners. If we hire someone to do something at our house, I promise he does not do that job full time. He'll be fixing our dishwasher, and we're like, do you paint houses? And he's like, yeah, I probably could paint houses, you know? His business card says, how hard could it be, right? Can't be that hard. We got married on Friday the 13th. Got a pretty sweet deal on that. They were wide open. We were like, what times are available? They go, every one of them, all 24. You can call us that day if you want. Her brother married us. That was free. The photographer was just a buddy of ours that had he just bought a new camera. So we were like, you gonna do our wedding? Never done anything professionally, and it showed. His camera stopped working during it, and he started taking stuff out of it. Like, that would be the problem. It's like, yeah, you know what? I bet they put too much stuff inside of it when they built it. You should yank some of those wires. That's not supposed to be in there like that. Our DJ was awful, and that's because we got my mom to hire the DJ. I don't know who thinks to ask someone in their 50s for DJ recommendations. No one ever is like, Mom, are you in with the local DJ scene by any chance? She hired someone older than her. He just had CDs, and this was when computers were doing real good. He got super drunk, played the same song 3 times in a row. White Wedding, which he said was by Billy Joel. He only had one leg, seriously, and that's fine, you know, no one cares. Until he starts messing up, and then you're like, why does he have one leg?
God forbid I go to a store she has a coupon for. I mean, I'll be walking into the parking lot, just get a call, don't buy anything, I have a coupon. I'm like, do you think I'm gonna come home and get that coupon? Is that what you think's about to happen? I'm gonna try to pay more now that you called. I don't even know if Target allows that, but I'm gonna try to negotiate up on this toothpaste. You better hope they don't ask me to round up. I'm rounding up. I hate coupons so much, and she's addicted to them. She will not let me leave. Like, I got a coupon. I'm like, I just feel so stupid. I'm buying deodorant, and I'm like, I don't have all the money, but I'm almost there. But I do have this coupon. One day, I hope to be able to pay full price. We are saving up as much as we can.
Marriage fights are great because they're all very dumb. I would say 90% of them are dumb. 10% the cops show up. But we got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home, and she was like, why did you bring it home? And I was like, you're supposed to drink it after you work out. And she was like, that's not true. And I was like, well, there's a commercial on TV. They probably looked into it more than you did. So I decided to listen to them. And she said, that's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk. And I was like, you don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people. And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, we gotta make up a lie. We gotta get rid of this chocolate milk. She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? To be fair to her, though, I do not work out. So, you know, but I was probably gonna start, and I needed to get all this stuff there.
I'm not a big fan of working out, never done it. And I told them, I was like, I just want to do upper body stuff. And they go, all right, well, how about we just do legs every day? That's all it is legs. I think it's a huge conspiracy with trainers that you never actually do your upper body. And when you are doing it, I mean, I asked him, I go, is this upper body? He goes, yeah. I go, yeah, because I'm bending down quite a bit. What I eat that's the main problem. I eat like a child. I mean, it's not good. He goes, let's go through like what you had for breakfast, or your whole day of eating. He goes, let's go through yesterday. And in my head, I'm like, well, yesterday's not a good day. You know, let's pick another day. He goes, go through yesterday. I go, all right. I had donuts in the morning. And he goes, all right. Was it like they were just out or something? I go, no, I drove to it. I drove to it, and he's like, is it on your way? I go, nope, I was late to where I was going because of it. He goes, what about late night snacking? And I was like, well, I had Sour Patch Kids last night. He goes, did you watch a movie? I go, no, just regular TV. And ate them. He's like, the little kid bag? I go, no, it was a bag. It was a bag of them. If you saw without a label and someone said, hand me that bag, they wouldn't be confused on what you were asking.
It's the silent treatment. The silent treatment is it's a very common thing. Everybody knows what it is. I think women are just born knowing it. I don't think you're taught it. I don't think it's like, my mom did it and her mom. It's an instinct that's in us all, that we all just know. Here's what made me think of that. I rewatched the movie Sixth Sense. And I'm not trying to do a Sixth Sense joke. This is a 20-year-old movie. I also have to spoil it, but it's 20 years old. So if you don't know by now, I don't know what to tell you, you know? And don't be like, we're gonna watch it tonight. We're gonna go to Blockbuster on the way home and so he's dead the whole time. And I don't know. I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty big part of it. But for those that have, think about when you watched it. When we all saw this movie for the first time, none of us knew he was dead. That was the biggest surprise we've ever seen in our life, you know? We just thought his wife wasn't talking to him for like a year. That made more sense to us than him possibly being dead. And I was like, when I watched it, I was like, what do they show him dying? Yeah, that guy shoots him with a gun. That's how the movie starts. That's how obvious they're like, hey, he's dead. And we still watched it for 2 hours, just like, I know what this guy's going through, you know? This is a movie about marriage and how hard marriage is. Yeah, even if you get shot, it's your fault.
All right. So we got in the fight over the phrase one fell swoop. Just over this saying. And if you're a newlywed, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is a double-digit married fight. This is when you've already done all the dish fighting or the putting your clothes away fighting. This is when they're trying to mentally break you. They got you almost how they want you, and this is the one that sends it over the edge. My wife, she wanted to go visit her parents one weekend, and her parents are divorced, and which has been hardest on me, to be honest. That's something people don't talk about, you know? When you marry into divorce, I mean, they divorced because of her, not me, so why do I have to go to 50 different houses? So, she wanted to go visit her parents, and shit, I want to do it in one fell swoop. Now, I've never heard my wife say the phrase one fell swoop. We've been together 20 years, she's never said it. And it felt like someone that day told her, hey, you should start using one fell swoop more. And she goes, I'm about to call my husband, and goes, perfect, use it 40 to 50 times on him. So she calls me and she goes, I want to go visit my parents and I want to do it in one fell swoop. And I go, all right, let's do it in one fell swoop. She goes, I want to do it in one fell swoop. I go, let's do it in one fell swoop, you know? Let's swoop it up, I'm down. And she kept saying it, one fell swoop, I mean, over and over again. And then when she went to describe this one fell swoop trip, she goes, we'll go to my mom's, come home, then go to my dad's. And so I just like waited, and she didn't say anything, and I just go, that's not what one fell swoop means. And instead of possibly just being wrong, she goes, I know what one fell swoop means. I go, yeah, it doesn't sound like you do, all right? And we have the same last name. I can't have you out there in a one fell swoop conversation. What do you think two birds, one stone mean? Let's just go through them all. I don't know if you know any of these. She hangs up on me. So I get home, and you know when you walk home when you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, you know? She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. Now, that's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of sorries, just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And then she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? So I'm laying on the couch, and my wife just came over, and she kisses me goodnight, and then she went to bed. And that was it, you know? That was like, I felt like it was her sorry, I guess. But she didn't say it. And so I was like laid there, and I'm just thinking about it. And you think about it a lot because you're like, all right. Because you learn the longer you get married, sometimes it's like, just let stuff go. You know, who cares? And the next morning I get up, and I kind of still wanted to talk about it. Because we didn't talk all night, you know? So I went into her, I was like, look, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just not what it means, you know? And that got it going real good. But I felt so good about this argument, you know? I thought about it all night. I was like, you got this one in the bag, man. You should bring it back up. I'm not trying to date her anymore. I like to win a fight. We're gonna die together. I almost woke her up in her sleep. That's how much I was so excited. I almost just started shaking her going, it's not what it means. Our marriage almost ended in one fell swoop. So
My wife will tell me that she always says that I don't like the way she talks. And it's not her voice. I like the sound of her voice. That'd be a big problem, I think, if it was like, it's your voice. I just hate it. It's the information that she chooses to tell me at times. We took a trip to Florida, to Fort Lauderdale. And her and our daughter are flying from Nashville, where we live. And I'm flying from Detroit. We're meeting at Fort Lauderdale's airport. I have to find them when they land. So I called her because I was about to take off, and I was like, all right, what time do you guys leave? She goes, noon. And it was 11:30, and they're still at home. I was like, Laura, I don't know if you even know what an airport is. But if that plane was in our driveway, I don't think you could make it. And she said, that's what time you leave for the airport. Our flight's not till 1:30. And I was like, all right. So, what do you think I wanted to know when I asked that? Is that what you thought the best time you could give me was a time that means nothing to nobody? What time did you go to bed last night? Just tell me that, and I'll just look up all the planes that land in Florida, and I'll guess which one I think you're on. She said, I'm sorry I don't talk the way you want me to talk. I'm like, I want you to talk like a regular person, all right? Like you've been around people before, you know? We didn't talk in Florida, I'll tell you that.
Our daughter still sleeps in our bed, too. And parents don't like that when you say it. They're like, you got to keep them outside, don't look at them. It's my fault. So we had a kid late in life. We have one kid. And so we're kind of hitting all the sites. And I would be, when I get home, travel a bunch and I get home, I'd want us to all sleep in the bed together. And I've kind of built up a habit now, and it's happening. So it's tough, though, because kids don't know how to sleep. I mean, she makes king bed feel like a twin. I'm on the edge. When I sleep alone in a hotel, I have to sleep with my head on the nightstand. It's the only way I know how to go to bed. She gets sideways, upside down. If you woke up upside down tomorrow, you would go to the hospital. She's also apparently going through menopause because she's the hottest human being that's ever lived. I'm not freezing at night. She just kicks all the covers off, and you're like, yeah, no, you go ahead. It's your bed. We're lucky to be in it. She's got to get out at some point, you know? I don't know. She'll be 37 years old. Hey, can I get in the bed with you guys? Her kids are upstairs asleep in their bed. Her husband left a while ago. He ain't gonna put up with that. We're doing homework, too. Our daughter's starting to bring it all home. Homework's fun. First and second grade was awesome. Third grade, you're like, okay. They throw some stuff in, you're like, oh, all right. It's, okay. Learning it earlier than we used to, huh? I don't even know if that's true, but... She brought home Common Core math. That's fun. It's a new math they invented. No heads up, just give it to parents that never learned it. It's just a whole new. I mean, it's unbelievable. Why when they bring it home, you got to watch a 40-minute YouTube video on Common Core math. I don't even understand it. If you know it, if you don't know Common Core, it's just a new math. And the goal of Common Core is to use one sheet of paper for every problem. You just want to keep breaking the problem down. You put the problem at the top, and it just keeps going. And then what's even funnier is you see old math in the middle of it. As you break it down, old math gets in there, and you're like, oh, just do that at the top. I don't even know what we're doing. And it's not like old math isn't working. I mean, old math's doing, I don't get incorrect change everywhere just going, this stupid old math. It's a long way to get at the same answer. I told my wife, I go, it feels like if you knocked on my front door and I opened it, and you said, can I come in? And I was like, do you mind walking in and coming in through the back door? And you'd be like, does the front door not work? I'm like, nah, it works. I use it. A lot of people still use it. But the new way is to go jump the fence and come in the back and meet me at this same spot. We take her out. We go do stuff. I would take her to Chuck E. Cheese all the time. You can go there. They had COVID in '84. So they can't even survive in there. That's what... I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go out of business and they can't. They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out. They're updating nothing. That Chuck E. band is just robotic. I mean, the drummer doesn't even turn on. It just sits like that the whole time. They sell booze to parents now. They just give them buckets of Bud Light. They're drunk in a booth at 9 a.m. And someone drives those kids home. I don't see a bunch of Ubers and Lyfts showing up. There was a Chuck E. Cheese that got caught. If people didn't eat all their pizza, they would just put it back out on the buffet. And that would shut down any normal business. And with Chuck E. Cheese, they have thrived. I mean, when I read the story, I was like, I thought that's what they were doing. I thought we agreed that that's fine. I didn't know what the article was about.